Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Tyranny, Blind. Now, here is Tarkis Demos, who is the enemy commander, and the Scarlet Chorus and the Disfavored are arguing about what to do with him. So let's intervene and see what his chances are. I don't see it, I don't see his chances as being particularly great. The choice is probably between being killed and enslaved.
I got it.
Can I talk to him? I don't think so. Okay, let's talk to them then. The prisoner says his name is Tarkis Demos. Drastus lets out a long-drawn sigh, tapping his gauntleted finger to his temple. Then I think this isn't a complicated matter. He dies. His family has been a driving force in the Vengeance Guard. Killing him should demoralize whatever is left of the Tarkis clan. All must be given a chance to find absolution in the service to the Scarlet Chorus. The mage points a finger at the disfavored officer. And you know full well, this has always been our way. He has a chance to be a slave or a soldier. Only then do we feed them to the pigs. We would let you take prisoners, but you can't control them. You send these conscripts out on patrol and they never return, defecting all over again. I can't let this nonsense strategy continue. Let's hear what the Fatebinder has to say. The Blood Chanter turns to you with a wide smile. My mates in the Blood Chanter Guild tell me you were the most supportive of our claims to the scrolls of the Verdum Citadel. Surely you understand the Scarlet Chorus is wise enough not to squander any advantage we can take from the enemy. When the armies of Kairos apprehended the stash of forbidden lore, the disfavored disposed of the books and scrolls in a bonfire. The Chorus stepped in to salvage the arcane texts, and a fight broke out over a disagreement. You granted half of the scrolls to the Scarlet Chorus as fair plunder, and kept something for yourself. What gives? Last I was here, the disfavored showed a little more mercy to the enemy. The commander lets out a long sigh as he touches the wound by his neck. These filthy hill people spat on the surrender. We were fools to ever treat them as anything more than violent children. Mercy is what's got us into this protracted fight. Let's not continue this mistaken strategy. Now, the thing I kind of have a problem with is I'm unsure what the Scarlet Chorus, are they going to ask him or are they going to enslave him? Because if they ask him whether he wants to join and then kill him upon refusal, I'm actually okay with that. That's sort of his choice in whatever limited capacity he can even make choices at this point. But I fear they are going to enslave him, or even worse, because the Voices of Nerat has been told to be able to possess people or mind rape them. So I'm a bit unclear. I think a quick death would maybe be more merciful at this point. I would like to know what he wants, and that's why I wanted to talk to him first, but I can't. So, I don't want to see him enslaved. I abhor slavery, and I think it's better to kill a person than to enslave them. Because slavery, it is the most it's one of the most dehumanizing things you can do to a person, which is basically deny them their humanity. There is humanity in dying for a cause. If you kill an enemy soldier, you're still honoring sort of the craft of war and the rules of war. He has joined the army to fight for his cause, and you fight for your own cause, and you kill each other, and it's pretty sad and, better avoided, but it's preferable to me than slavery, because slavery is like utterly degrading to a person. So, like, I feel uneasy about this choice because I don't really know what the Scarlet Chorus really want to do with him. Like, are they going to ask him, or are they going to force him to join their ranks? Like, I would imagine it's mostly forcing, because otherwise, it has been told they keep slaves, and it has also been told that they throw their new recruits at the enemy in the first wave, and whoever survives gets more privileges later on. So, if they just asked people whether they wanted to join and they then killed them on refusal, they wouldn't have slaves. So I have a feeling that they would enslave him, which I would much rather kill him at this point. Execute the Oathbreaker. One chance to surrender is enough. The Tearsmen can't be trusted. Rakes, thieves, and whores, nothing more. We were far too merciful the first time. Dratus nods to a nearby warrior. Have this one tied up. He and his friends can watch each other rot in the sun. I won't keep you here any longer, Fatebinder. I know you have important business in the valley. Drastus salutes you, his iron gauntlet wrapping against his breastplate. For the glory of Kairos. Okay, so did they crucify him? Like, there was an empty stake, like, a bit earlier. I will look for him, because if they crucified him, he said, let them rot in the sun. Maybe I can at the very least put him out of his misery, like stab him or slit his throat if I find him. So I'll look for him. Stone shield. What's the Rastus? Right here. You have my thanks, Fatebinder. I must attend to the rest of my soldiers. We sing the anthem of pain. Death to all enemies of Kairos. Victory is ours. Someday I'll make it to Bastard City. My gang boss is a milk-livered sow. I don't think my bowels can take another month of siege. Ceremony. Wait, you're telling me this is better than what I have? Like, if you look at the comparison, it seems so. But I must say, I don't quite... Okay. +1 accuracy, -1 second recovery. How does it look? It's like a turban. So to be honest, this looks better, but this is better, so I will keep it equipped, I think, for the time being. Rogue's leather, light armor, deflection +2 armor. It hinders my recovery, which I think is used for cooldowns. What do you wear, Verse? Like, do you wear armor or light armor? Okay, so how does this compare to what you have? +2 armor. I think it's better. Okay. Let's look for Tarki's demos. There was a suspiciously empty pole right here. So maybe he's... Okay, he's not here. An empty spike stands waiting to claim its victim. I told you I would pull through, didn't I? Graven Asher protects. Okay, I don't think he's in this direction. He's clearly not. Okay.
Sorry, I can't.
Now, there are things upon the walls.
Can't do that.
Specifically, right here. End this. Okay, is that him? Yes, Tarkis Demos. Okay, I will put him out of his misery, actually. You there, muttering through a mouthful of congealed blood, he hangs from his stake. End this, I beg you. You've suffered enough. Your request is granted. You plunge your weapon into his heart, ending his life with one quick thrust. Drastus said you're good to pass. Your arrival pleases our masters. Before I leave this place...
Sorry, I can't.
Let me go alongside the cliff here.
Sorry, I can't.
Use the holes in the wall to climb it.
Can't do that.
Scepter Shoots 39. Maybe I can get enough points to open it. Like because I leveled up? Okay, attribute points. Okay, so what do I want to... Ability and spell cooldowns, will defense, affliction duration, magic and magic defense, accuracy, spell strength. Okay, let's go into wits. What does this do? Unlocking skill growth will allow the character to gain experience in this skill through normal gameplay interaction. Use this if you want to allow the character to level up as a result of this skill changing. What? Locking skill will prevent growth of this character from gaining experience through this skill. But why would I not want to level up? I don't quite understand. What's my subterfuge currently? 33. Okay, there's no way to get to 39. So I guess maybe I'll return to this place at some point. She's got 37 though. Okay, I've got 1 talent point. But wait, these have nothing to do with magic. Ah, okay, because there are more. Okay. That makes more sense. Grants a bonus to lore skill. Adds the spell breached affliction to thrust attacks. Also grants a bonus to magic skills for a short time. Charge up your magic staff and release a powerful burst of energy that explodes in a small area around the target. Sure, seems cool. Okay, sure, I can take this for the time being. Let's climb down.
Right. Can't do that.
And I think I can leave at this point, right? Yeah, it very much seems like I've exhausted whatever this location had to offer. Disfavored Camp. This fort was constructed shortly after routing the rebels along the valley's western edge. The Archon Graven Ashe directs all disfavored efforts from this location. What's this commotion about?
Right.
Take what you can carry, but leave the cart. Otherwise, we seize you and your wares. This is robbery. This is Kairos' law. Hail, Fatebinder. The disfavored scout nods at your approach. Camps up ahead. Don't mind us, just clearing out the rubble. I still don't understand what I've done to offend. I respect that these are now disfavored lands, and I'm happy to give the Legion a proper toll, but she's going on about trading rights. What nonsense is that? Am I not allowed to trade one thing for another? It's not like I'm selling weapons to angry peasants or anything of the sorts. To be honest, I dislike both of those options. Like, I would just like to learn more about, because they are all very sort of decisive. I don't want to kill him, and I don't even particularly want to seize his goods. I just want to learn what all of those permits are about. But I guess this at the very least cozies to the disfavored a little bit. Maybe they will like it. I don't have to deliver on the threat. You're on disfavored land. These warriors have every right to kill you. You should be more thankful they are even listening to you speak. But I'm only here to peddle my wares. I mean no harm. The merchant takes a step back, his eyes scanning the soldiers for signs of movement. And if you think I'm a threat to the disfavored camp, then Then you have seriously overestimated me. Please, how do I make it right? From the sound of it, I feel like I'm about to be robbed. You're not the only one. I'm being robbed of patience as we speak. We should move on, Fatebinder. Petty disputes are beneath both of us. Robbed? No, you fool, you're being granted a life after trespassing on our lands, all for a simple piece of what's in your cart. Not our fault you don't have your permits in order. I don't write the rules, I just ruthlessly enforce them. Well, to be honest, how would the disfavored even know if he's got the right permit, if they are illiterate? Please, the merchant lurches towards you, eyes wide with desperation. Can you do something? Well, show me your trade permits at the very least. He hasn't got one. Therein lies the problem. A trade permit? Well, how was I mean, to whom would I speak for such a thing? Not us and not our problem. Maybe march your bat to the bastard city and plead your case before Tunon, but we'll lighten your burden and relieve you of your wares first. That should make the long trek a bit more bearable. Anything that can be argued before Tunon can be argued before me, because I'm an envoy of the court. I serve Tunon as one of his Fatebinders, so to be honest, I do literally, I think, if I understand this correctly, I do literally have jurisdiction. What's here to discuss? We should kill this mongrel. And the warrior pauses, placing her hand in front of her mouth. If the Fatebinder wishes to weigh in on this matter, courtesy demands that we listen. The soldier clears her throat, looking to you expectantly. This is a disfavored matter, but I know that the agents of the court do so love to throw their judgments around. Well, you could rob me now and have my supplies today. The merchant grabs a flask from his cart, or you could leave me alive and have fermented honey all year long. I even know a few family recipes for painkillers and healing draughts. Certainly any army will need those. He uncorks a small ceramic vial, and the aroma of cloves and lanolin assaults your nose. Did he steal it? Like, to be honest, if he did, he's stupid. Like, I'm really trying hard here to not have him punished, but if he really stole it from the Scarlet Chorus, then he's insane and dumb. Like, you know, I will choose this, even though I have a sneaking suspicion this will actually lead to his death. But if he really did steal it, and if that becomes established, then I can't really be at fault for that. I did all I could within... No, I could just not say anything, but that would be lying by omission if my knowledge actually tells me that he possibly did steal it. What a coincidence. Your family recipe for wound paste smells just like the Scarlet Fury's own concoction. Where did you steal this? I don't... The merchant tenses up, his face flushing red. I don't know what you're getting at. Pick him up by the collar. How stupid do you think I am? Slow down. I'll tell you everything, just don't hurt me. I found most everything out in the forest of the valley. I'd keep my head low when I heard the sounds of combat, then I would take a look and grab whatever wasn't claimed by the victors first. So then you stole from the disfavored dead. How else did you get your hand on that iron? The scout points to a merchant's cart. You would come here and sell us our own armaments? If anything has an owner, I will return it, but this iron would have turned to rust if I left it in the mud of the battlefield. The disfavored are few in number, is that not right? You need a man like me to gather up supplies that would otherwise go to waste. Uh, bu- 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 to be honest, I think I am going. Like, I am stealing from the dead as well. So, there is that. So being overly angry at him for that would be, I believe, a sign of moral hypocrisy on my part. So, like, do I want him to pay a fine? I guess is the question here. Because it is a bit brazen, I admit, to take the things from the bodies and then try to sell them back to the very same army. Yeah, the Disfavored will tolerate your presence, but you will pay them handsomely for such charity. We will? The Disfavored soldier clears her throat with a cough before repeating herself in a more upbeat manner. We will. It sickens me to make exceptions for such a vulture, but if you supply the Disfavored without profit, perhaps this indiscretion is for the best. It's not like our leaders are it's not like our larders are overflowing. A work slave to scrounge provisions would be an asset. Thank you for interceding on my behalf. I know my life will now depend on showing the Disfavored due gratitude for suffering my presence. If I must grovel a bit to earn my daily grain, so be it.
I got it.
Anything to add? Thank you for talking down the Disfavored from doing worse. Sad times we live in when making a humble living is branded a crime. I'm not going to extort him for any more money. You're lucky I ran across you. Farewell. Well, I'm in your debt. Swing by soon. I just need to get my wares in order, and I'll be ready for business. Okay, I'm not going to steal him from him either. Like, that's kind of low. Slow down a moment. I know we're both eager to watch the Archons bicker over tactics like a pair of magpies, but I need to ask you something first. What's that? The voices of Nerat told me that you've come as a mediator. Considering the source, I can't help but feel I'm only hearing half the story. So what's so special about you? Why so... Oh, what else has the voices of Nerat told you? Only that I could find you in Edgering Ruins. Truthfully, I could have picked you out of the crowd. You're the only one who hasn't spent the last few months bathing in the stink of the Matani River. She laughs, but there is a forced nature to it. Why so suspicious? It's just a feeling I got. When the Archons are together, the air gets as taut as a bowstring, and I can't help but think no amount of compromise will get them seeing eye to eye. So why invite a mediator from Tunon's court? It doesn't add up. Why do you think the Archons are at odds? I've been with the Scarlet Chorus since the early days of the Conquest, so I can say it's been building for a few years now. There's an energy about those two, like a pair of storms moving in to collide. I've heard tales that Graven Asha and the voices of Nerat shared some bad blood in the Northern Empire, but I don't know any of the particulars. Yeah, I do kind of agree with this. Overall, the bickering between the Scarlet Chorus and the Disfavored annoys me. This is absurd. If the Archons can put the past behind them, they are unfit to command. Quick to anger, are we? I'm not disagreeing with you, but I would take care where you speak your mind. Someone is always eager to report slander to their favorite Archon. With all of the powers they wield, these types are not quick to forgive. Like, I don't think I'm going... I haven't been told, it hasn't been made clear to me that I should keep it a secret. If anything, everyone will know about it soon enough, because I'm supposed to proclaim the edict that kills everyone, including me, by the way, if we don't take the Citadel by whatever arbitrary date. So, like, what's the harm in her knowing about it in advance? I'm here to deliver an edict from Kairos. This makes a crazy kind of sense. Considering how long the siege has taxed the armies, I can understand why Kairos would send you with an edict to speed the things along. Have you read it? Do you know what it says? The Archons must claim the Ascension Hall by Kairos' Day of Swords, or all will perish. The Ascension Hall is the traditional throne room of the Queens of Apex. The throne stands directly beneath the mountain spire, in the center of the citadel in the valley of Vendrian's Well. During Kairos' conquest of the Tears, you stood in the Ascension Hall as Kairos' representative when negotiating the surrender of Apex. Your patient efforts led to the willing surrender of Queen Vendrian Alanta. Day of Swords. The 26th day of every month, or a span, is Kairos' day. It's a day of holiday and rest for all within the Overlord's empire. Each Kairos' day is the last day of its span, and it's referred to as the span's name. Kairos' Day of Swords, therefore, is the 26th day of the span of swords. Huh. Now, what? I have to check the calendar? What date is it? The Archons must claim Ascension Hall by Kairos' Day of Swords, or all will perish. One more thing for the Archons to fight over. Well, thank you for cluing me in. If Kairos sends any lightning our way, just tell me when to duck. I really ought to be meeting with the Archons. The war tent is just past the camp. She nods towards the northeast. One last thing. Be careful around those disfavored types. They take their work seriously, and most have suffered too many blows to the head. Reputation ability unlocked. Death from above. Okay, it's the 18th day, so, like, can I rest? Because I wonder, if I waited after Kairos' Day of Swords to read the Edict, then we would have an entire year, right? Like, do I understand this correctly? Because it has not yet been proclaimed, and obviously, like, if I read it right now, we would have 8 days to take the Citadel, which is, not that much time for an assault or a siege. So, but if I read it after the Day of Swords, then the next Day of Swords would literally be a year away. So, like, can I rest? Oh, spell creation. That's pretty fascinating. Okay, I think I'll read into that. Like, that seems very important for my type of character, so... Okay, let's see if I can do anything with this. Sigil of Frost and Sigil of Atrophy. Sigil of Focused Intent. Frozen Grasp. But wait, this already exists as a spell, right? Isn't this what I'm using? Yeah. So I guess I just don't have any modifications for that as of now. Like, that would be over here with the accents. Okay, but that's something I have to keep in mind, definitely. That seems like a mightily important thing. But what I'm kind of trying to figure out right now is if I can rest. Because if I somehow manage to rest for 8 days, then it would be after Kairos' Day of Swords. And I'm just very curious to see if that would work. Because it has been implied
On
that
it.
most edicts have a way, have like a loophole in them, or something that allows you to twist them from their original point. A humble grave lies before you. A battered sword has been used as a marker.
A modest grave for the Archon's son, Brennix. We don't bother with funeral rites in the chorus. No point in thanking conscripts for their duty.
The initial B is deeply engraved in the iron.
Sorry, I can't.
Wait, she leveled up as well. She has no talents, so was she always level 2 when I got her?
I've got it.
The wood used for these parapets is pristine and finely cut. The walls have yet to see any battle. The gate guard holds up a warning hand. Go no further. You approach disfavored ground. State your business. I am Stannis, Fatebinder of Tunon. I bring word from Kairos, words for your commander's ears. Ah, so you're the fire starter. Sevus and the companies returning from the burning library are telling some harrowing stories about Kairos' Edict of Fire. I think myself brave, but I'm happy to have been far away from it all. Must have been a terrifying honor to be the messenger of such a righteous force. In 430 TR, the final year of the conquest of the Tears, the sages of the Vellum Citadel were expected to surrender without a fight. When the sages violently defended themselves in a prolonged siege, Kairos unleashed the Edict of Fire, reducing the library fortress to smoldering ruins. You were given the honor of proclaiming the edict, and to those present, you were often known as the Fire Starter. Though your orders left it vague when you should proclaim the edict, you chose to give the sages a few hours of warning. The Scarlet Chorus soldiers seem fine with your decision, claiming they had spies among the sages who deserved to escape, but the disfavored view the decision more coldly, consider it coddling the enemy. Go on in. The soldier gestures toward the gate. The Archons are expecting you. You'll find them in the war tent, center of the camp. Engraven Asher protects. The guard nods in your direction. Can I take your stuff? Is that allowed? Light armor leather. Okay, I think this is actually better than what I'm using. Stay vigilant, Fatebinder. These arrows are fletched with precision and care. Hail to you, Guardian of the Law. The man is dressed in merchant finery and greets you with a smile. If you have a few excess rings weighing you down, best unburden yourself before battle. You know that if the disfavored suffer a merchant in their camp, that must be a man selling only the finest provisions and armaments. He points to his collection of shields, rations, satchels, wineskins, and other sundries. Take a look and see if something interests you. Does it ever make you uneasy representing the South in an occupier's camp? It did once, he answers with care, but that was before I got the measure of your patron Archon. Tunon speaks with fairness and wisdom. Unlike many of my countrymen, I was able to make this changing of the guard as comfortable as possible. A little treachery can be profitable, merchant. Verse jostles his wares playfully, sending him scrambling to retrieve them. He does best to recover, unperturbed. Kairos is the right and proper authority of the realm, my lady. There is no treachery in that. In spite of his airs of confidence, he casts a worried glance out of the corner of his eye. How did you come to work with the Disfavored? Hard work and good supplies. When Tunan's men came to my village, all the merchants were given different lists of what they were or weren't permitted to trade. He smiles, hands on hips. In Kairos' wisdom, my record must have been a good one, because I was given the right to trade in all manners of goods, most importantly arms. Not a lot of merchants can legally sell weapons. It was like that even before Kairos. Okay, that's pretty interesting, because that seems to imply that this is a centrally planned economy, sort of, like, because that's how it works, even in real life, where you would have like in real life in centrally planned economies, where you would have quotas of different things to be produced, and you would change, like you would actually get people to work in a given industry just because there was a need for a certain type of product, and they weren't really given that much of a choice oftentimes. So it seems that Kairos is like directly planning the economy by forcing people to only trade in certain kinds of items. That's interesting and weird. Let me see your wares. Pentibor rubs his hands, eyes alight. Let's see if we can find something you might like. 5 bronze rings. Well, I have 0 right now, so... Would you buy this? I would imagine it's high time I figured out how selling stuff works. Okay, trade. Okay, like this. So this is a trade window, but where are all of our shared items? Like, do I need to transfer them to a particular... First of all, why are you not wearing this? I will keep the consumables. Okay, let's talk to her as well, Rona. The cart is bursting with fresh food and useful goods. Got no time to chitter, too much armor to mend. Speak to Uncle Petibor. if you've got rings to trade. Watch yourselves for Fatebinder. The table is lined with various medicinal herbs. It would appear that they have been carefully rationed. Stay vigilant. Just making my rounds. Carefully skinned game hang from the branch. They appear sickly and malnourished.
That wasn't so hard. Can't do that. Sorry, I can't.
Great spear, bronze javelin. Maybe I need to somehow read those scrolls too, because this is an accent, for example. Yeah, learn. It contains a magical accent which slightly increases the range of a spell. Discovered a new sigil. Magic in the world of Tyranny comes from learning how to perfectly scribe sigils and empower them with energy. Open the spell interface by pressing P and create a new spell with the sigil you have just learned. Okay, I will have to figure it out. Sigil of distant impact. Affects target at a distance. Sigil of strength, I've learned that already. But maybe it somehow empowers it if I learn it sort of twice. Glory to the voices of Nerat. Projecting his salutation for all to hear, the grinning blood chanter wraps his staff against the ground as you approach. Fatebinder Stannis Javert, I presume. His smile quickly retreats, giving way to a sour scowl. I'm Bitter Quip, and I'm here as the emissary of the Scarlet Chorus. Looks at you impatiently. What is it like working with the Disfavored? He scoffs, looking away from you at a moment before sniffing and returning his attention to you. Reporting to the Iron Hag is an insult. She fought one duel for her title? One? Her leadership must be continuously proven, earned, or defended. Weakness should be the bottom of the army. Weakness should bleed to the bottom of the army, not rise to the top. My assignment here is also an insult, but one I will bear for the good of the chorus. Bitter Quip sniffs the air, smiling with one side of his mouth. If only to see with my own eyes the failure of the Disfavored, that will be a fine day. What could you tell me of the Scarlet Chorus? The chorus is the future of the Tears. I feel only derision and pity for those who fear our inevitable ascension. He looks at you with a raised eyebrow. What in particular would you like to know? Tell me about the voices of Nerat. He is a supreme commander and a public servant, he who sets us free but directs all. He smiles as he talks, his face turning flush. The voices of Nerat is the epitome of what each of us can be, a magician without equal and the leader of uncountable numbers. The voices and the chorus are one, conquering, expanding, growing, changing, always stronger. Glory to the voices, he pounds his staff on the ground. How did you come to join the chorus? The doctrine of strength speaks to me, and I answered its call, as did some of my arcane peers. I took to the chorus almost instantly. Unlike most, I cried not for a life of comfort lost to me. My magic invokes fear and terror, and I easily established my dominance over a pack in my early days in the chorus. If you're so curious about it all, he smiles, lifting an eyebrow, perhaps you should visit our camp and see for yourself. What is your role? I am a blood chanter. My magic can turn the will of men and the tide of the battle. I have held command for 3 years now, though being forced to keep an eye on the disfavored is not the reward I have envisioned for my service thus far. Sounds as if you really like the voices of Nerad. Bitterquip blinks several times and scowls, saying nothing. To be honest, the voices of Nerad is right here, right? He's talking with Graven Ashe, so it's not such a great idea to badmouth a guy who can possibly read minds and consume minds within his possible earshot. That's all for now. He nods as you depart.
Can't do that.
I can't wait to get out of this camp. A meager portion of game simmers in the large copper pot. Fragrant spices attempt to mask the potent smell of whatever creature they've decided to cook. I am Lucia, and this is Marcus. The disfavored soldier points to the armored man next to her, and you must be the Fatebinder. As one of Tunon's Fatebinders, you are a traveling deputy of law, authorized to be the judge, jury, and executioner in Tunon's absence. You have authority over civilians and soldiers alike, though Tunon may freely destroy you should you misuse your power. Scarlet Chorus and the disfavored soldiers are required to abide by your judgment, a fact that often offends those who feel they should have they should only have to answer to the rules put forth by their Archon. From under her helmet, you hear an audible scoff. We've been assigned to your hospitality, he quickly interjects, while you remained on disfavored ground. If you should require a place to rest, we can make necessary preparations. What can we offer you? Well, tell me everything, to be honest. Marcus, tell me about yourself. Not sure there's much to tell you. I trained at Fort Resolution. This is my first campaign, and I'm proud to be with the Legion. I was wounded at the Gates of Judgment, but Graven Ashe's protection mended me good. I owe my life to him. Are you bragging that you let your guard down and took a spear to the gut? You really shouldn't boast about a filthy tearsman besting you in battle. She rolls her eyes. You're just bitter that Lord Ashe never seems to notice you. In all seriousness, I would take that spear again if it brought honor to the disfavored. Kairos knows we could use it. We are the elite fighters of the Northern Army, but somehow we still lack the Overlord's confidence. He shakes his head and sighs. Lucia, tell me about yourself. I do this. She unenthusiastically flips her heavy shield. And I do this. She mockingly stabs the air with her spear. She shrugs. Playing host is not my strong suit. Ignore my sarcasm. I've seen the Legion through my share of the campaign. After so much bloodshed, our pretenses of honor can wear me down. She turns a cautious eye your way. The North is my home, and I consider each and every one of those ironclad bastards in the camp to be family. You won't find another army where each member of the phalanx is as beloved as cherished as the next. You seem handy with a weapon, Lucia. Aye. And if you ever want to know some pointers on how to use that weapon of yours, just let me know. She winks. Are you flirting with Tunon's Fatebinder? Relax, Marcus. There's plenty of camp slaves if I ever need to scratch an itch. Although, through the visor of her helmet, you notice Lucia's eyes roving up and down your body. If you ever need someone to warm your bedroll, let me know. I sleep in my armor. Hope you don't mind. How have your skills fared in battle against the Oathbreakers, Marcus? Every battle is a reminder of the Legion's superiority. The Oathbreakers have plenty of heart, but nothing to beat our northern values and Graven Ashe's love. If you ever want to enjoy that feeling, I can spare you the time of day to cross iron. What it's like to serve with the Disfavored. In spite of our name, the Legion commands more honor than any military on the face of Terratus. Unlike the chorus, there is tradition, discipline, teamwork, and the unity of purpose. He looks over the camp. There aren't many of us, but it's better that way. We are a tightly knit family bound. We're a tightly knit family bound together by trust and glory. Accurate enough, she shrugs. After seeing the disunity and bickering of the younger realm defenders, I feel lucky to be in the most agreeable legion of Kairos' host, even if we are not always the most efficient. If the legion boasts so much honor, why are they disfavored? Insufficient reputation. I am afraid this isn't for me to say. Others around camp might be able to tell you more, but I don't freely discuss the great general's history to outsiders. But I will say that it involves the great general, which is already telling a clue, you idiot. A drat. At least the Iron Marshal isn't within an earshot, or I would be washing my mouth out with wormwood. Okay, I can train with them? What can you train me in? I like some training? Of course, Fatebinder. He pounds his fist on his armor in a salute. 100 weapons, parrying. Ranks trainable this level 10. So to be honest, I would much rather train magic. But I can train her. Well, if it isn't the Fatebinder, what do you train? Finally, some fun to break up the monotony of the siege. Okay, you train athletics. Interesting. I guess I can get a couple of points. Okay, I can rest here. From your vantage point, you see the tent trail off, obscured by the rising smoke of the campfires. The soldiers you see appear somber and quiet, a calm before the storm. I assume this is the command tent. The Archons await you inside, Fatebinder. Okay, I don't want to enter yet, because, to be honest, I am very much intending on trying to sleep, wait until past the Kairos' Day of Swords and proclaiming the Edict then. You can't make out the ironclad soldier's expression under his twisted helmet. He merely stares at you.
Can't do that.
The sparring dummy shows deep gouges of hard use. These spears are uniform in their quality craftsmanship. I'm itching to get back on the battlefield. Our supplies are still holding up despite sitting around on our asses for the past few weeks. Well, word travels fast, Fatebinder.
Can't do that.
Isotanis curses the air as a blade of thin iron breaks in half beneath his hammer. Repairing weapons with scrap isn't exactly why I got into this craft, but our supplies are spent. He wipes the sweat from his brow and gets a better look at you. Why not forge bronze? Bronze will do in a pinch, don't get me wrong. It can take a beating and get bent back into shape, unlike this stubborn iron we have here. He glances at the pile of work with dread. And we always have plenty of tin and copper laying around, so supplies aren't a problem. It's a rare smith who can churn out military-grade bronze consistently. More often than not, it comes out soft. Look around camp. We're grabbing the Legion head to toe in iron because it's cheaper and easier to produce for the masses. Couldn't do that with bronze. Yeah, that's actually a common misconception that, bronze is actually stronger than iron, but it's more difficult to produce because it's an alloy, and copper and tin usually are not found in the same places because they require different geological makeup or whatever. So it's just more inconvenient to forge bronze compared to iron. They called the Disfavored the Iron Legion for a reason. Strategy and skill may be our backbone, but our claws are made of iron, the good stuff that comes from the smiths in Lethian's Crossing. Built in the shadow of the Old Walls junction at the Realm of Haven, Lethian Crossing is a growing trading settlement. The nearby rivers are rich with iron ore, though the locals lack the technology to smelt and forge the element. In the years following Kairos' conquest of the Tears, the population of the crossing swelled with refugees, fleeing the destruction of their homelands. The presence of the forge-bound mining the iron, along with their guards, makes this makeshift settlement a vital resource for Kairos' armies. You mentioned an iron shortage? I'm afraid so. The last shipment sent down the Matani went missing near an Echo Coal crossing, and I'm afraid we won't be seeing any more now that the valley is sealed. Forge-bound iron is Tunon's responsibility. Why is this the first I'm hearing of it? Keep your voice down. Isotanis flinches and lowers his own. Graven Ash doesn't want to cause panic or pass any information to the Vengeance Guard. Best case scenario, the iron tumbled off a boat and is rusting on the riverbed. Worst case is it ended up in enemy hands. If I find myself in Echo Coal, I suppose I can keep an eye out. I appreciate this, as does the Great General, more than you might guess. Maybe he isn't quick to offer his thanks to outsiders, but I know he will be grateful for your help. It would be a boon to the war effort if our iron was recovered. You can trust me to handle this. I knew that Tunon wouldn't have dispatched you without good reason. The court isn't exactly known for gambling when the stakes are high. He glances to the crate and points to a small set of notches on the wood. You see that? That's how we tell apart our iron shipments from the rest. Inconspicuous, so people don't get stooping around. You'll want to keep your eye out for those. Good hunting. Need something else? Show me your wares. Okay, to be honest, not interested. Just wanted to see if you have something that's unique, maybe.
It's all in the reflexes.
Light leather helm. +5 accuracy. Okay, that seems to be better than what I'm currently wearing. Fresh straw in the corner of this prison cell absorbs much of the stench. The Oathbreakers already had their chance, no use in wasting cell space on traitors of Kairos. Don't mind me, I'm just watching the troops.
Can't do that.
Okay, I think I'm going to attempt to rest past the Day of Swords, which is a week, which is a bit preposterous, but let's see if the game will let me. Okay, so it's another month now, the Span of Blood. So logically speaking, if I pronounce the Edict now, it should give us an entire year, which practically makes it pointless. Yeah, before the morning on the Day of Swords. But, on the one hand, if it works, and is acknowledged by the game, then it's cool. But on the other hand, it's a little bit, contrived and improbable, because wouldn't someone notify the Archons that I've been sleeping in this camp for a week without coming to talk to them, even though that's my job? But anyway, I will talk to them next time, because this episode has been long enough. So that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!